Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Brand. I'm your host, Stuart, and let's get into it. Disney has sold part of its movie business to Sony. And I know the headline's a little misleading, but we're going to break it down. So basically, what's happened is Disney has sold the production of its physical media portion of its company to Sony. Sony will now be the company that produces, sells all its future and upcoming physical media releases for all movies, series, and things like that. What does this kind of mean? Well, I'm thinking this is a shift. Disney's trying to maximize its profits in its very turbulent time right now, and there's a large cost and not so much return. But if they can provide the media and have someone else take that burden of cost, they won't make as much money, but they won't need as much investment capital to run this division under the Disney name. So Disney's still going to own all the intellectual property and everything. Sony's just going to be the one making the Blu-rays from now on. So it also alludes that does not include previous releases. So Sony's not going to be releasing a Lion King collector's edition or an Aladdin collector's edition or Cinderella or anything like that. It's all going to be specifically new releases. And that's okay, I think. But looking at the bigger picture of what this means, especially for larger companies and all the media companies, is the continued shift to digital ownership or digital rental, I should say. I was a big fan of it when it started coming out. I digitized my CD library. I digitized my movie library, got rid of a lot of physical media, which gave me a lot of space in my house. Just decluttered, which is kind of a good thing for someone with OCD tendencies. And that is one of those things that I didn't think much about. But now I'm looking at it from now, looking back, and that was a mistake on my part. Because physical media, specifically movies, is a very tumultuous area. Because we've seen companies that say, oh, this will always be available for you if you purchase the digital copy. All of a sudden, switch gears, walk it back, and say, nope, sorry. We saw this in a previous video I made about Sony. This is why it concerns me. When they combined Crunchyroll and Funimation, some of the stuff that you purchased on Funimation weren't going to be available to you anymore. You didn't own that digital copy anymore. So I am now reversing my train of thought that, physical media is good. I have a ton of digital ebooks, ton. But I also have literally bookshelves in every room, and I have a closet dedicated to books because as much as a digital book is great to have on my Kindle, it's there's nothing that beats just the tactile sensation of holding a book and reading it. And I didn't feel this way about movies, but now I kind of am because of this shift. And we've seen it with Best Buy has shuttered all sales of physical media, including specifically Blu-rays from their stores and online. And that's a big concern that a major retailer that is shifting away from not providing physical media. And that's a lot of things that I've always complained about with the new streaming services. Yes, no, I don't want to renew my subscription to Disney Plus. But if you give me the physical copy of the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special or Werewolf at Midnight, I'll buy it and watch it at home. But I'm not going to subscribe just to watch it. I'm not going to pay a recurring monthly fee just to watch those few movies that I like. Because a lot of the Disney stuff I did keep for my kids, for them to watch it whenever they want. And so now that's kind of where we're at now. We're at this point where physical media is dwindling based on all these other companies, but a lot of us have kind of see the downside to it now. A lot of people have been warning us about the downside of it. So this is kind of the bigger picture, we need to really think about this shift to digital only. I'm not a big fan of it anymore. Don't get me wrong, my digital collection of movies is quite extensive, but I'm really okay with having physical media and taking the time to pop it in, view the artistry of DVD menus that we used to get, and things like that. It doesn't bother me that it takes me a few minutes to pop out a Blu-ray, throw it in, and load it up, versus just hitting a few buttons and pulling up a streaming service. That's okay. I think we're all going to see that shift now back to physical media. Now that we've seen so many companies that are kind of all these streaming services, and I predicted this a while back that these streaming services are going to merge. There's too many, and people are just going to stop subscribing to so many. And I know it. I don't think there'll be a monopoly, but we're going to go. We're going to get down to about 5 major ones, is my thought. There's already rumors that Peacock and Paramount are already planning to merge their two streaming companies. So yeah, there's that. MGM Plus, which was started, is slowly being merged into Amazon because, well, Amazon owns MGM. So we're seeing lots of streaming services consolidate, and we're going to get, because of rights issues, some things are not going to transfer. We're going to lose access to the movies. Like, I have copies of movies that you can't get on any streaming service. One of my favorites, The Burbs. Absolutely one of the funniest movies ever created. If you haven't seen it, buy a copy, watch it, and laugh your head off. It's hilarious. And I'm just saying, this is one of those things. I'm going to start going back and collecting physical media again. And it's out there. And all the old stuff. And it's hard to get physical copies of the new stuff that's not blockbuster. Either, if you're going to get it, it's going to have to be a movie that grossed millions and millions, or it's going to be some independent movie that came out, and that's how they're getting it out. So this is the bigger picture. We're seeing the loss of physical media, but maybe not altogether right away. But we do need to push back and say, hey, movie studios, we want our physical media, because we're not going to sign ourselves up for just recurring payments every single month to some amount that puts us over what it costs us to keep Spectrum. We're not going to do that. We're going to reduce our costs, especially in this economy. Why pay for 5 streaming services when that's more expensive than cable or Dish or YouTube TV? So I think this is a time where we're going to see the physical media push come back, and I'm all for it, because I just can't afford to pay for 12 streaming services every month. It's just ridiculous. So Sony's going to be taking care of Disney's physical media, and I don't know if that's a good move or a bad move or what it's going to be in the long run. I just hope this isn't the sign of the times that we're going to get fewer and fewer physical releases. Now that the pushback from viewers and fans are like, no, we want our own copy. We don't want your subscription service. So we'll just see how this plays out in the future. And I have to say, I'm a little weary, but books didn't disappear when the Kindle came out. When ebooks came out, books didn't disappear. They took a hit, but they came back. So I'm hoping this is the same thing with DVDs and Blu-rays and 4K editions. I hope they keep coming back. And until we do, I have one thing to say. I love you all. There's nothing you can do about it.